we want to determine in problem number 1 if this ordered pair, x equals 3, y equals negative 5, is a solution to this equation. So I'm going to write this equation, and I'm going to label these equations. I'm going to name that one number 1, and this one number 2, and we're going to test 3 and negative 5. That's our x value, that's our y value, and this point will be a solution to this system if the x and the y values solve both equations. So let's substitute and see what happens. So first of all, in equation 1, let's see what happens. So if x is equal to 3, y is equal to negative 5, okay, in equation 1 we're going to get this. So substitute 3 for x and negative 5 for y and compute. So we'll get 3 plus negative 5 equals negative 2. 3 minus 5 equals negative 2. Negative 2 equals negative 2. That's true. So 3 and negative 5 solves the first equation. What about the second one, though? Let's try number 2. We'll get 2 times x, but x is 3, plus negative 5, is supposed to be equal to 4. This gives us that 6 minus 5 equals 4. Well, that says that 1 equals 4, and this is false. So this point here does not solve equation 2. So I think what we should say here is this. Let's make a statement. Let's say that 3 negative 5 is not a solution to the system, since it is not a solution to at least one of the equations. That's a lot of words, but I've done this. I've said that I've answered the question, it's not a solution, and I've also said why. Let's go with the second problem here. We've got this point here, and we want to know if it's a solution to this system. So let's test it. Let's put negative 1 and negative 2 in for x and y respectively and see if we get true statements or false statements. So let's look at this. If x is negative 1 and y is negative 2, let's go into equation 1. So let's substitute these values into equation 1. We'll get 3 times x, but x is negative 1, plus 5 times y is negative 2. That's supposed to be negative 13. This gives us negative 3 minus 10 equals negative 13. Negative 13 equals negative 13, true. So this point is a solution to the first equation. Let's try the second equation. We will get 4 times x, which is negative 1, plus 2 times y, which is negative 2, and that's to give us negative 8. What do we get here? Negative 4 minus 4 equals negative 8. Negative 8 equals negative 8, which is true. So we're going to conclude now that negative 1, negative 2 is a solution to the system since it is a solution to both equations.